Hello everyone, and welcome back to Endzone, A World Apart. We're starting this episode exactly where our last one ended, and our scrapyard is ready for reassignment, so we're gonna move that right over to this eastern area of the settlement. Oh, another task. We'll accept this one just to see what it is. I assume it's something related to building more cabins. Yeah, build one cabin. Happy to do that and boost our population a little bit. Also, once our shelter's complete, a lot of the older or infertile settlers are going to move there, and our population will become a lot more fluid. We finished our water tower last episode, but our rainwater collector still needs some more plastic. What I'm going to do though is switch on the water tower's filtration system, which uses charcoal to filter pollutants and radiation from the water. We do have a few unhappy settlers that we'll need to deal with, and our shelter's about to go up, which should eradicate the homeless problem and therefore make them happy. I'm guessing that's why they're unhappy. I'm actually going to switch this from old and infertile to all settlers just to help that problem go away, and that should also make people happy. Nice. So let's slow things down and take a look at our professions again. We're going to boost our water carriers, as I've just realised we don't have any water carriers and have officially run out of water. So we'll need a surge in production there. That's our cabin task finished. We'll just adjust things a little more. It looks like we've had a mini population boom, so we can recover quickly. We do have a lack of children though, so hopefully the shelter and cabins start working in tandem, and that boosts our population without causing kind of food and water shortages. We've got a nice clear area to build in thanks to the scrappers, and once the job's done on the east side of the settlement, there'll be a nice area for reforestation that's free of any debris. And once all the localised scrap's cleared, we're going to have to rely on other methods to acquire that resource efficiently rather than sending everyone miles away to collect it. And that's where the research station comes in. I initially thought it might be a bad idea to build this early on, and it has been a bit of a resource drain, but the ability to slowly gather research points is going to be helpful as we look to get a scrap catcher up and running as soon as possible. One thing I'm going to do is switch my workshop back to scrap tools now that the research station's got all the metal tools it requires. And then we'll drop some food gatherers and make them researchers to start generating those points. The rainwater collector is going to be our next target. We're not in any demand for wood right now, so we'll switch our foresters back to cut down and replant as opposed to only cutting down. We're going to relocate the gather wood task to another area south of the housing blocks, or maybe the area around the lake actually. Now let's take a look at the research trees. So we've got hemp weaving mills which produce cloth from hemp. We'll obviously need to find hemp seeds to start a farm for that though. Then the refinery, which gradually sorts out all of the advanced building materials from scrap as opposed to the recyclers who just do one. Probably a good idea to have both though, so the refiner's more of a supplementary building, but we can see how that works in the future. We've then got advanced buildings and settler equipment improvements. These do include a couple of drawbacks like the diligence decree, which increases the durability of things but makes the settlers move slower. Upgraded radio masts, which help with the trading posts, warehouses to improve our logistics, loads of other stuff like improving food variation, education, and numerous other quality of life improvements. It's a pretty in-depth system, which is quite impressive. But as we built this pretty early on, we don't really have the population to fully invest in it right now, so we'll just start accruing points slowly and see how things go. I do think a refinery is a good first improvement to aim for, as it'll really help supplement our 3 recyclers at this stage, as they're struggling to cope with the demand for the advanced resources. I'm going to speed things up a little just to advance some time while we figure out the next steps, as we've got to wait for the plastic to get to the rainwater collector. We'll drop a builder and make them a gatherer. It's just playing a waiting game now. At least our water stores are filling up again, and because we've upgraded the system to a water tower, we can actually store more water as well. And once the rainwater collector is constructed, we can finally start thinking about increasing our tool and clothing production. probably by building another tailor and a workshop. Oh, another task, a celebration. Oh, food, water and liquor. Interesting. Liquor requires a pub, so let's build one. And we'll pop it right down by the docks here. A proper lakeside den of sin. It only requires basic resources, so it shouldn't take long to build. The pub basically converts fruit and other food resources into liquor. I think it just makes settlers happy and gives them a bit of variation in their diet, I guess. The building area is now clear. We're just waiting on resources, and we'll see how our research is doing. Yeah, it is very slow progress until we get more researchers. I wonder if education levels impact that as well. Like, the better educated your settlers are, no matter what it's in, they'll get more research points. Something like that. I don't know. We'll have a look at the refinery. So I can't start it researching. I assume we need to generate the points and then apply them, but we do still then need to spend time researching that specific upgrade. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. This is probably something for another episode. So we'll speed things up. It looks like we are approaching another drought there at season 24. So we've got 3 seasons to make sure we're in a good position. We do need to get the pub built as soon as possible because this task time is ticking away. So that needs to be a bit of a priority. Oh no, it looks like our remaining settler and builder have died. We might have been missing that for a while. See, it's really important to keep an eye on the professions and your population. We do at least have a larger number of children, with a few approaching adulthood at the same time, which is good. And the only other issue apart from the drought is that we're getting short on protective clothing again. Rainwater collector's nearly done. Let's see if we can prioritise the pub. No, I'd rather risk failing the task than delay the water collector any longer. There we go. Done. That'll bring us a nice amount of water, and now we can prioritise the pub. All the scrap is there now, just waiting on the wood and then the construction time, and then we should be good to start brewing. We'll drop a water carrier and assign a pub keeper to get things started as soon as it's constructed. Got an even larger number of children now, but our adult population is dropping, so we definitely need to keep a close eye on our professions just in case we lose a key role. So with stuff coming to that pub, that shouldn't take that long. I'm not sure we're going to get there in time to complete the quest, but at least we'll have a new type of food source ready. We've got children about to become adults, so they're going to go into the jobs pool. We've lost a settler again, so what we need to do is we need to try and find a better working balance between adults aging and dying and settlers and children growing up. Also, it might be good as a more long-term goal to start having things that improve the health of our settlers. You can see at the top there, the health is just below maximum, as in super healthy. So that's something that we should probably think about, as our settlers may not be living as long as they could be. Pub's nearly done. At the moment, things are in an okay position. We could really do with sorting out this protective clothing issue. I did change our tailor back to just producing the neck scarves, but they're still not doing the job. So it may well be that a more long-term strategy is to have 2 workshops and 2 tailor shops up and running, and see if we can maybe boost that advanced resource production as well with a couple more recyclers. At the moment though, I'm really not sure, and I think right now we're in a fairly comfortable position. We'll see out this next incoming drought and see where we can go after that. So the pub's being constructed now, which is good. We might have a chance, although it's going to be very slim, of completing this task, especially if we've got a drought coming on, because it's going to affect our food and water sources, given that there's not going to be a lot of harvesting in that time. So we may actually get the liquor produced but be short of food and water by the time we get to this task being completed. I'm going to speed things up again because we're at a bit of a deadlock now and there's not much I can do to further progress. We just need to get this drought in and then make a plan for coming out of it. So as you can see, the pub can produce hard liquor, stuff to smoke, and beer. The hard liquor is the only thing we can produce at the moment because we don't have the resources for the other two. We need hemp, so hemp is probably going to be a huge product for us. I'm guessing it's going to be a heavily tradable item, and it seems to be used in a lot of the more advanced production, so the stuff to smoke plus clothing and things like that. It also seems to be a valuable resource, I'm guessing anyway. Until we get the trading post up and running, we can't really tell. I think that's a more long-term aim. Right now I just want to make sure my little commune is safe and sustaining. I've just had a reminder to save. I should probably do that, but I'm just going to keep playing for a little while longer, see out this drought, and then we'll save, and we'll also probably end the episode because we're coming up to a decent mark. There goes the water drying up. The grass hasn't dried out yet though. There we go, it's slowly browning. Just get rid of this, maybe move it to this southern area. So if we can start clearing towards the south, what we can actually do is we can just fit in a few more cabins, and then there's potential for us to expand farmland towards the south. Eventually we could maybe get rid of the farms that we currently have once we've got a better system up and running to the south, and then make them more kind of communal buildings and areas, whatever else we need to kind of produce. Because I know there's a few things that are really useful, like you can have a decontamination post and things like that, and you kind of want to have that in the center of your settlement. That'll supplement things like anyone who's working in fields where there's irradiated areas, like you can see here, are rainwater collectors collecting irradiated water, but because that's then getting stored in the cistern, it can purify that. I think that's how it works, don't quote me on that one. But yeah, you get dust storms coming in. They normally happen after a drought. Oh, there we go. We failed. I can't remember. I don't know how short we were, but we were short and we failed. Not a lot we can do about that. At least we gave it a go, and we do have the pub built now, and that'll continue to produce stuff. We could maybe switch it off for a little bit. But yeah, you get radiated dust storms coming in, and they deposit ground radiation that you need to clear, or find some way of making sure that your food sources don't end up contaminated. Because what can happen is it takes one irradiated farm, they'll then harvest the crop, put the crop in the bus to store it, people will come and take that, and then they'll carry that radiation throughout the settlement, so it can really spread quite quickly unless you get on top of it. I'm just trying to kind of get a balance in the professions here as well. Let's see, our rainwater collector, it's working, but it's taken on irradiated water. I'm just randomly clicking on things because I'm not really sure what I should be doing right now. We're kind of at a bit of an impasse where I've gotten past the main sort of parts that you learn in the tutorial, and now I'm kind of just trying to figure out how to expand. We're going to switch one of our recyclers, all of our recyclers maybe, yeah, all of our recyclers to cloth. We don't need the metal and the plastic right now. And then I think we will build another tailor's shop. Is that going to be a good idea? Yeah. So if we get another tailor shop, we can really aim to get kind of like a resource boom and really produce the things that we need to keep our settlers alive. Once we've got a decent store of that, we can try and do a population drive. We'll pop another workshop down as well, Because if we get those key resources done, our settlers will be protected, they'll have tools, they'll be able to work. And I think that's going to be an important first step to us managing our population better, because right now we're kind of in and around the 40 to 50 mark, but the jobs that we have going that'll really help us push on and turn this into a bustling town aren't being filled to their full potential. So our overall efficiency throughout the settlement is down really low. We might actually have enough breathing room in the food and water sort of demand and production to take our population up towards 60 or 70 and really fill out the roles that we need, with a little bit of micromanagement obviously, because I don't think you can ever really have the population that is strong enough to fill out all of the roles without it being an issue. You're always going to have demand for food, you're always going to have demand for water, and there's always going to be a point where you aren't able to fulfill that and need to kind of compromise a little bit. Unless I'm completely wrong and there is a way to have so many farms going that you can sustain a huge amount of food. Just waiting for a couple more deliveries of cloth to get this tailor shop up and running, and we'll pop our charcoal kiln back on production, because we're going to need to get a nice amount of charcoal in, because we're going to have radiation masks that are needing the demand for that, as well as our water tower that's also going to be demanding coal. So probably a good idea to get that back up and running, and maybe we need to change our forestry back to cutting down for a little bit, or build another forester's hut. I don't really know. There's a lot of potential. It's just working out which avenue I'm going to go down to try and get an economic and population boom happening at the same time. So it's difficult. It's really difficult to strike a balance, but I'm kind of like into this nitty gritty now, where I think things are going quite well, could be better, and we just need to work out how they could be better and what to do. I think I've rambled on enough for the last few minutes of this video, so I think we'll call it there, and we'll come back on our next episode and see how it goes. The game is due to be released in 3 days time when this video goes up, so I'm really excited. I think what I'm going to do is, moving forward, I'm going to do strictly Endzone and strictly Planet Zoo for a bit. The Elder Scrolls Online stuff, if you've watched it, takes me a long time to edit and put together on top of all of the recording and stuff. And that's more of a passion project for me. I do it because I'd quite like to show that side of the game off. One shots are going okay. Dreadlands I'm not too sure about, but right now I'm loving playing Endzone, and I'm really enjoying getting into Planet Zoo. If you guys watch any of my other videos, if you don't, please do. I really recommend them. I have a lot of fun playing these games, and it's nice to get creative with stuff. But that's kind of the state of play. I should probably do a separate video for this. Why am I still talking? Just forget everything I've just said, guys, and I hope you have a lovely day, and I'd like to thank you again for watching this video. Pick up Endzone. It's coming out of early access. You can buy it right now. Get it before it comes out. It's fantastic. It's a really good game. And thank you all again, and I'll see you guys next time.